Doesn't matter. Ladies and gentlemen, we are here. We know what we're doing.
We know what we're doing. We're arguing on whose turn it is to intro the show. Go, Shay.
I don't know. So welcome to HOMEMAKER CHIC podcast. If it is my turn, this is the podcast where we are rescuing the art of homemaking from the daily grind. Two fellow homemakers here. If you're not familiar with mine and Angela's story, we are two best friends. We live 2,000 miles, maybe even more. I don't know. We've never actually counted away from each other. We have 10 children between the two of us, and we are both very passionate about managing our homes well. So much of what you read about homemakers is just about survival. And isn't that a shame?
Yeah, it is a shame. No, you know what, Shay? It's not just homemaking though. Like, I got this hair perimenopause thing going on, and like everything to women is about surviving it. Like, really think about it. Pregnancy, how to survive pregnancy, newborn stage, how to survive the newborn stage.
Yep.
How to survive homemaking, how to survive perimenopause, like that's all it is. And like that's a really, if you take that and you kind of activate that message at like, I don't know, 23 or 22 or whatever, and you take that message all the way, that is a long arc of, hey, this all really sucks. Here's how to survive it.
Survive. That's exactly what I was thinking. Yeah. Here's how to survive. What a sad way to go through life.
And like, obviously, some days are just about survival. I get it. But if that's like the theme,
I wrote,
like, I don't want to build on that,
No, I wrote about this on Substack the other day, and it was this idea of, if you think that you're going to thrive when, it ain't ever coming, sister.
No.
It just isn't coming. And I think up until recently, I still kind of held on to hope that it was. But
it was super easy to do.
It is, and when your kids are little, and I don't mean this in any kind of weird way, but I still thought I had so much more control. I could still control what they wore. I could still control everything they ate. Life was more in control. And so I just thought, if you want it to go this direction, you just make different decisions and steer it this direction. And that was great, and that it gave me confidence, and it helped me to build up the desires of what I wanted. And then you realize that life changes. That when decades pass, life really changes. You change. Your family changes. Your kids change. School changes. Jobs change. It's wild. It's wild.
Yeah. Or, you have, and there's just there's so many things right to this. Like, we could even just skip this idea for today's show and just run with this. But like, if you think about that arc, that survival arc, and then all the changes that happen within there, if you set out in your marriage or like as a mother, like with really strong ideals, when those changes start plopping down in front of your face, that can be a really rough gear shift.
Right.
Where you're
it really is.
No. I had ideas. I had plans. I had this child was going to do this and that child was going to do that. And everybody was going to freaking like smoked salmon. And,
Exactly. No one was ever going to drink from plastic water bottles.
Exactly.
And life was going to be clean and orderly and perfect. And this whole post I wrote was about this idea of like, look, you actually have to learn to still curate, to still care, to still apply yourself, to still make things beautiful, to still nurture, despite the fact that it's not this perfect, neat, tidy little package like you thought it was going to be.
Or in the midst of. I didn't read that
Or
post
in the
yet.
midst of.
Yeah.
In the midst of. You still have control as a homemaker. What are you going to do with your two hands today? And like you said, my family has been sick with the flu. This week has been about calm survival for us.
Right.
Okay. I'm not painting the living room this week. I'm not like, I'm not doing any of these grand things.
Yeah.
That's not what this week is for. My
Hmm.
hands this week need to be serving my family,
Hmm.
need to be getting them medicine and getting them tea. But so things aren't going to plan, quote unquote. How do I nurture? How do I create beauty? How do I contribute to the wellness of my home
Hmm.
when things aren't going to plan?
Yeah.
Anyway, not the topic for today. Just a little
Could
slip
be.
that one
We
in
I
there.
bet we could manipulate it.
Before we
So
dive into today's topic, let's say thank you to this season's sponsor, Dry Farm
let's do.
Wines. We are so grateful for this company because they do such an incredible job of sourcing wines so you don't have to. It's like shake and bake or the
Shake
scrubbing
and
bubbles.
bake.
Scrubbing bubbles. That's what I was thinking.
Shake and bake. My gosh.
Do you
That just
remember
makes me
shake and
think of
bake?
Talladega Nights. I know it doesn't make me think of the food, it makes me think of NASCAR. Sorry.
Well, I was thinking of Joe Dirt when he's the janitor, right, for the
Uh-huh.
school. Do you guys remember this movie?
Yeah, that's what's his name?
David Spade.
Yes, yes, yes.
And he talks about using scrub and bubbles, and he's like, they do the work so you don't have to. That's what Dry Farms does for us, ladies. See how classy we are? Referencing Joe Dirt and Talladega Nights as we
And putrid chemical cleaners with beautiful, organic, clean, biodynamic, non-GMO yeast, no sugar added dry farm wines.
all we do is win here on Homemaker
Yeah.
Chic podcast. You can visit dryfarmwines.com/homemaker chic, and you should visit that. You can learn more about dry farm wines if you're curious how this works. It's important that people remember that you actually have control over this. So you control how many bottles you get, you control if they're reds or whites, and you can even talk. Their customer service is super helpful. So they can actually help you curate boxes based on wines that you like, or maybe certain traits that you like in your wine. They'll help you do all of that. And when you use our link, you get an extra bottle with your first order for just a penny. Good?
Yeah, I think that was great.
I was
I looked
actually just
down. I was like,
thinking
I didn't know you were waiting for me.
I was thinking in my head how common it is now. When we first started the podcast, it was so much less common. But that was almost 5 years. That was 5 years ago this
Hmm.
month.
Hmm.
Um, how more common it is now for people to get groceries, things like wine, fish, cheeses delivered
Even
to
their
their
vitamins. Think about
house.
like your Amazon when you're
Right.
like, oh,
That's right.
save 5% if you subscribe. Okay.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I was talking to my cooking community about this a few weeks ago. We were talking about how the layout functionality of grocery stores is
Hmm.
changing where I live. I don't know if it's like this everywhere, but
Oh, no. What?
they're being like redesigned inside to accommodate more. Here we call it like click list, where people put in an order online, and then
Hmm.
employees of the store do all the shopping, and then you just
Okay.
pull up into the whatever it's called, parking lot, and they
Hmm.
bring it out to you. Right. So like the employees are doing the shopping. So now all the walls of the grocery store, it's set up almost like industrial. Like,
Okay.
does that make sense?
Yeah. Yeah.
There's no like Whole Food vibes going on in my
Mm.
my local grocery stores.
I have
It's
not been to
quite
a Whole
sad.
Foods. Oh, maybe I've been once. I was going to say since I went to California with you like 7, 8 years ago.
Long time ago.
Yeah, Whole Foods. That sounds super fun.
I would give my right arm for a Whole Foods here.
That's how I feel
Just
about Trader Joe's. I'd be like, just
a
please.
Trader Joe's, I would die. I don't want to go grocery shopping here, and I love food.
I
It
hate
makes
grocery
me
shopping.
angry. It
Yeah,
makes me depressed. It makes
yeah,
me
yeah.
judgmental, turns me into this
Right.
horrible person.
Look what she has in her cart.
Can you believe her?
Right, right.
It's not good. It's not good for anybody. So anyway, get them delivered to your door.
Dry
Save
farms,
yourself
that
the
is.
judgment.
Nobody will judge you on how much wine you're drinking. You can get 3, 6, 9, 12 bottles plus an
That's right.
extra bottle for a penny.
That's right. All right.
Okay.
Angela,
Uh,
Angela has a plan for us today for today's episode.
yes. So, okay. First of all, uh, I took a little break around the holidays, but it sounds very cliche, but I've been working out like a psychopath since the new year. Just feels so good. You know, after you take that break and you're like just eating a little bit different during the holidays and everything. Ew. And so I've been doing a lot of weightlifting, like 6 days a week. So that's probably
That's a ton.
2 days more than normal. Love it. Okay, it
That's
makes
a
me feel
ton.
really good. But because I'm doing my cardio indoors, I'm on the treadmill, I've got a weighted vest, I'm uphill, right? I don't really like it. I really prefer to be outside, but it's horrid here. I'm not going outside. So I need something to sort of check out. Like I really need to check out when I'm just getting the cardio portion of the workout done. So like shocker, I've been listening to Outlander again. Okay.
Wow,
This is going
flashback.
somewhere, I promise. This is going somewhere. So I'm on the Fiery Cross, which is like book 2 or 3 or something like that. And I had to take a screenshot the other day because the narrator said something, and I thought, oh, that is so good. I'm going to build a podcast off of that. And Claire in this book is, you know, lamenting like everything that needs to get done. And she's always got so many irons in the fire, which I love. I can relate to that. She said, well, if a woman's work is never done, why trouble about how much of it wasn't being accomplished at any given moment? Okay.
True. True.
True. I actually really felt good for me to hear that. I just thought, okay, it's not going to get done anyways. We talk about that all the time. You get the kitchen clean, it's spotless. You go to bed. In my house, some teenager decides they need 11 o'clock, you know, organic macaroni and
Quesadillas.
cheese. Yeah, or quesadillas, right? Exactly. So I'm thinking, okay, if a woman's work, air quote, is never done, I thought about it might be sort of fun if you and I had like a um, chore showdown today because our theme for the season is make it sing. So
Okay.
I thought we could tick through the chores and we could talk about a particular chore and how you choose to make it sing or how I choose to make it sing and sort of see who wins. I don't know if that will
Okay.
work because you and
But
I
to
do a
be
lot of things
fair,
similar,
we
but
do. And you made this list, so I actually have no
I
idea
actually
what's
haven't looked
coming.
at the list. I just
Oh,
Googled popular household chores. So I'm coming into this blind, girlfriend. All I have is the quote from Outlander and the idea.
okay.
So,
Okay. Well, even if we do the same thing, then that's okay. It might still spark an idea, or that's okay.
or, you know,
That's
like
great.
let's if we know a friend or grandma or somebody who does something different,
Okay.
you know. So what room do you want to start in?
The kitchen,
Okay, shocker.
of course.
All
That's
right.
where I
So,
always want to start. And honestly, I think the kitchen is the hardest place for the homemaker. I really do.
Shay,
Because
it's just
it
yeah. Go ahead.
it just doesn't, it's like so unstagnant.
Yeah.
It and if you have anybody in your home,
Hmm.
it's just the fluidity of the kitchen. It blows my mind. So I can make my bed, I can do my laundry, I can mop my bedroom floors or whatever, clean my
Right.
toilet. I get a little time out of it,
Yes.
at least a little.
Yeah. Yeah. Other rooms are definitely static. I can
More
make my
static.
bed and it won't get messed up until a kid comes and flops on it because they want to talk to me at the end of the day, you know, or yeah. So, but the kitchen is just this big, giant square
Yeah.
footage of an exercise in futility
Yeah, it really is.
that we love so much.
Yep.
You know, many of us homemakers, I love my kitchen. I loved it before it got the big makeover last year. I just love the idea of the kitchen. I love it. The range, the countertops, like the oils, and I love a kitchen. I love them. I got a couple new design books and I was looking at them with my mom last weekend and I said, I just think the kitchen is just like the best room in the house. You know,
Yeah.
I like dabble in freelance interior design and I could do kitchens for the rest of my life. I
Yeah.
just love the space.
Well, it's
But
interesting.
yeah, it's interesting. Yeah, it's not just like bed, nightstand. You know, it's got a lot
Yeah.
going on. But what can happen even in over a 2 hour span is shocking. It's absolutely
Yeah.
shocking. And
Yeah.
then you factor in as I know, you know, many maybe people listening to the show, you add in the homeschool aspect to it too.
No, it's
You're like
so,
moving in all this like air quote equipment,
yeah,
moving it out every day and
so sloppy.
feeding. Yeah.
There's no room to me that grasps that if you build it, they will come more than the kitchen.
Yeah.
If you clean it, they will eat. There is some, look, we all know it's like moths to a flame. Nature
Hmm.
hates a vacuum. They just can't take it.
Yeah.
They feel
It's
inspired.
pigs
You
to
feel
clean
inspired
straw.
by
Yeah. It's
exactly.
pigs to clean straw. And I just say that if you didn't hear a little
Mhm.
episode a few weeks ago, if you've never kept pigs, raised pigs, when you put down fresh bedding in a pig pen, they go berserk. They run
Yeah.
around, they flip over on their back, and like they go crazy like a dog after a bath. I mean, they
Yeah.
go nuts. Hog nutty.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. So chores in the kitchen.
Okay.
What do you have for us there? Let's do it.
Individual or just I'll just name all four. Maybe I'll just do all four. So wash dishes, unload dishwasher, wipe down countertops, appliances, sweep or vacuum the
Okay.
kitchen floor, take out the trash.
Okay.
So I mean, there's going to be obvious ones. There's going to be music and like, but like, what do you do to make those sing?
I make my kids do them.
I do too. I'm like, I'm going up to record my podcast. You clean this kitchen before I get started.
No, I mean, I actually think this is super important. Look, my kids started unloading the dishwasher and helping with dishes
At
from as soon as
at
they
two or
could.
three, as as
Yeah.
soon as they can. Yeah, exactly.
Scrape the food off into the
Hmm.
compost bucket.
Yeah.
Gather up the trash, throw it away. Here's a rag and spray. Go help me to, quote, clean
Hmm.
off the counters. You're
Hmm.
going to eat here. You're going to help.
Right.
So I mean, look, I always tell them I will cook until the cows come home.
Yeah,
I
I
just
love
get
that
tired of
part.
cleaning it up.
Hmm.
I get super fatigued by cleaning it up.
So do I.
Because it's like whatever work is on the front end ends up kind of being on the back end
Hmm.
as well.
Hmm.
Right? So I ask for help. This is how I make this piece sing. This is how I keep it a place where I can keep going and keep making them food that they want to eat. And they also can make food now. It's, simple food, but they do it.
Yeah.
But when they're in the mood to throw down with food, that means mom's going in.
Hmm.
And they know in order for that to happen, they have to clean.
Right.
And so look, delegation, there's no shame in it. Get in there. So we have a system in our house where everybody helps put
Hmm.
food away. Everybody helps bring in dishes from around the house. Um, right now, Juliet, our 8-year-old,
Hmm.
does the dishwasher. She's responsible for emptying the dishwasher because the boys are on firewood duty for the winter, which
Okay.
is quite a lot. So they're actually relieved of dish duty. So Juliet unloads the dishwasher and Georgia washes the dishes.
Okay.
And this means like after the big meal, she'll come in, she'll load the dishwasher, do the hand wash. But all the little bits throughout the day, I take care of those. But she's sort of on for those three meals. And it takes her 15 minutes each time.
Hmm.
It's pretty swift.
Yeah.
It's pretty swift. Yeah.
Ours is similar in that the boys are on farm chores. And then I milk. So I'll say the sort of rule is when I come back in from milking, breakfast better be like the kitchen just better be all surfaces
Yep.
ready to go for school because then it's game on for school. So that's between the three of them. What I don't like is like when one will come down and be like, well, I unloaded, we have two dishwashers, right? So I unloaded dishwasher number one. And so I'm exempt now. Like now I get to be
I'm
done.
exempt.
Oh my gosh. So I'm just always trying to get them three in the room at the same time, just doing the job until it's done. Otherwise, there's too many like, well, she did that. Blah, 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 blah. Makes me crazy. Um, do you have, I know you guys, so you have like the little Sub-Zero, but we both have a situation where our food is far from us.
It's a situation.
It's a situation. Do you need a dumbwaiter?
I want a dumbwaiter and a robot down there where I can be like, hey, bring me up the cream cheese. And it'll be like, okay.
Shay, I have to say, I don't think that's too far away.
Maybe not. And you know what? I
Have you
think I would
seen
accept it.
that?
The
There.
robot has to live in my basement, though. Its only job is to run and get me stuff,
Yeah. So
like
Shay's
Rosie from the Jetsons.
fridge is in the basement.
Down a
My
flight of stairs.
fridge is down a few stairs, but a little bit further away in the garage. And the bugger is that our boot room is so cold. My sweet little lazy people just think setting the food on the Hoosier cabinet is the equivalent of a fridge.
Mhm.
Makes me crazy. It doesn't make me
Yeah.
sing.
Well, here's the thing. In order to make it sing, I do actually think you have to decide, and this is going to be totally individual. You have to decide what really bugs me
Mm-hmm.
because you're not going to be able to deal with everything. The woman's work is
No,
never
it's never
done.
done. Yeah.
So, what are the things?
The
So,
sticking points, the
what are the
standards, like
sticking points?
the
Yeah. So,
standards, like,
we keep a
yeah.
basket at the top of our stairs that are in our kitchen that go down to our root cellar. Okay. So imagine our root cellar is like a gigantic pantry. That's also where our refrigerator is.
That's also, it's like a
So,
refrigerated pantry. If you guys are wondering what the heck are they talking about, we each
yeah.
have like a air conditioner, cool bot system. Hunters use them,
Yeah.
but we've made them fridges. So it's like a big walk-in pantry, but it's a refrigerator.
Also, it's
Yeah.
much trashier than it sounds,
It's
lest you
so
think,
it's
oh,
so
they're so
nasty.
posh. They
No, no,
have a
no.
walk-in fridge.
We're talking
It ain't
mold,
like that.
mice. Like we're talking, yeah,
Okay.
yeah, yeah.
But my point is, I prioritize getting dishes done. I don't like dirty counters and I do not like dishes in the sink.
Yeah.
I'm okay if there's a basket at the top of the stairs with some mason jars and a
Mm.
half-used bag of pasta, so long as it's consolidated in that basket. And then the next time I go down, I just grab the basket, I take it, I put everything away.
Mm-hmm.
And so I like it when it's done. And if I want to finish things all the way, I take it downstairs or
Mm-hmm.
I make somebody take it downstairs. If not, I'm okay with it sitting at the top of the stairs overnight. I'm not okay with, you know, egg getting crusted on plates in the sink. And so,
Yeah.
what are your
Yeah.
top three priorities? Maybe even
Mm-hmm.
write them down and say, look, these are the things. I'm going to make these three things sing.
Mm.
So, one of the, it sounds so stupid, but I looked at my kitchen over the winter and I thought, what are some of the pieces of this that you just don't like?
Mm-hmm.
I didn't like having a drippy old nasty rag always on the counter with drying dishes on it. And
Oh, the
so
layout rag.
the layout rag for the
Oh, I
hand
hate
wash.
that. I
We
hate
hand
it.
wash all our pans. We hand wash, of course, our
Yeah.
copper. We hand wash our wooden
Yeah.
spoons. We hand wash our knives. So there's a lot of hand wash.
Yes.
So I ended up stocking our online store with these all wool drying mats.
Mm.
So they're really thick and they're wool. So it doesn't get nasty. It doesn't drip water. They're super absorbent.
Mm.
And so now I replaced our nasty old rag with that, which was step number one. And then step number two was when I do my final sweep after everybody's helped, I dry the dishes and I put them away. And if there's a big stack, the boys help me with that.
Mm-hmm.
But it's that final finishing thing where you get at least the satisfaction of not only the dishes being done, but them being put away and actually visually having a clean space. And
Uh,
so that was one of those
Empty
things I just had to come down
surfaces.
hard on. Empty
Yeah. Empty
surfaces.
surfaces make me
Yep.
feel mentally
Sing.
peaceful.
Yeah, that's what makes it
Yeah.
sing to you is
Yeah,
when you
for
look in your
sure.
kitchen, you see empty surfaces, clean
Mm-hmm.
surfaces, that you're like, we're doing it. Today's okay. Right?
Okay, I'm gonna have you segue because I want you to talk about
Okay.
our favorite cleaning products. I think this is a really good time to insert this because I'm so
Yep.
obsessed with the all-purpose cleaner. That actually is the way I make the task sing because I know this sounds really dumb, but it's so fulfilling to me because it
Yep.
works so good. Like I enjoy it. I have like anticipation reaching for the bottle. I know it's going to do the countertops and the havoc that gets wreaked on my stove.
Yep.
So let's take a
Yes.
quick ad break really quick.
Yeah, let's say thanks to Branch Basics. This is the cleaner that Angela and I both use. We have both used it for years because it actually just really, really works. So you get a cleaner concentrate. And they also send you bottles and you dilute the cleaner concentrate with a bunch of water. So a little bit goes a very long way. By far the most effective cleaner that I have ever used in my kitchen. Way more concentrated than anything you're going to get at the store.
Hmm.
And it does it without the use of any fragrances, any preservatives. It's hypoallergenic. There's no hormone disruptors, no preservatives, kids safe, pet safe. This isn't one of those cleaners that you use and feel like you need to wear rubber gloves with. It doesn't
Yeah.
have anything
Got to
in
go
it like
outside for
that.
fresh air, you know?
Not like that
Yeah.
at all. And genuinely, I use it to clean my floors, to clean my stove. I use it to clean my dishes. I use it to clean out my refrigerator, to clean off the fronts of my cabinets, to clean my windows. So it is like a one-stop shop for all that you need to clean. And you can get 15% off by using the coupon code Homemaker Chic, all one word. We put their link below the show notes, but you could always just go to branchbasics.com and use the code Homemaker Chic. They're going to give you 15% off any of their cleaning starter kits that you want to try. Some of the starter kits include their best-selling laundry detergent, which you should absolutely use because it gets the stank out of your kitchen rags really, really well. So branchbasics.com is where you can go. Homemaker Chic, all one word, for 15% off your cleaner purchase.
Cool.
Okay.
Uh,
So that's, and then look, all the cliche things that are cliche because they're true. Get a nice candle.
the yummy
Um,
things,
get
fresh
some yummy
towels,
things. Get
good
some fresh
music,
towels. That's
candle.
right.
Yeah.
Yep. Look,
Flowers. I
sometimes
just
I
wrote a
go,
post on
yep.
flowers on Substack the other day. I'm like, you got to have them. Just do it. Trust me. They're so good for you.
Just yeah, just
Yeah.
get them. I go to my little health food store here and I buy produce. Or I bring up stuff from our root cellar. I bring up baskets of onions and potatoes and just a fresh bunch of parsley and I get fussy about it and I put it out. It gives me something to look at. It
Hmm.
makes it feel like the space is alive to me. And that might seem like really silly things, but to me it makes a really big difference and just the atmosphere of it.
Yeah. I think that is, that can't be underestimated. Bringing the food into the kitchen, like as far as uh even edible decor. Okay. Like,
Mhm.
so, you know, you and I are very like into design and have a really curated style, but there's a lot of people listening to us. They've got a normal kitchen. They're not like super colorful or whatever. It's a normal kitchen. Get a big bowl. Get your big bowl. Get your biggest Pyrex casserole dish, whatever. Fill it with fruit from the fridge. Set it on your kitchen counter. Grab the
Yep.
bunch of fresh parsley the next time you're at the store and just put it in a little jar next to
Yeah.
your stove, next to your
Yeah.
knives. I mean, there's
Even
things
if
that you
it
can do.
dies, it's a
Even if
dollar
it dies, who
fifty.
cares, right? There's things to do that bring life into that space
That's right.
the space is so utilitarian. And so there are things you can do, whether it's a big bowl of red peppers, like whatever, like that,
Hmm.
that will make it sing.
Yeah,
Hmm.
that's right. Okay,
Okay.
next room.
Living areas. I kind of I want to ask you about your house. Not living areas, not like the living room, yes, but do you guys have hallways that take a beating, or are you the mom that ends up putting things on the stairs for people to put away? Do your couches
Okay.
get all mushed down and nasty after a day of kids jumping on them? Like where you live.
Well, our house is small, so we
Hmm.
live in our dining
Right.
room
Yeah,
and
right.
the living room and the kitchen. Like
Hmm.
there's no throwaway space in our house. And things take a beating. So, um this might sound counterintuitive, but the way that I feel like those spaces sing is when I add living, non-stale things to them. So I have, for example, a lot of houseplants in my living room because when you go in and there's pillows on the floor and the couches are smushed down and there's orange peels on the coffee table, okay,
Clementine, I call them clementine wrappers
yeah,
everywhere. Yeah.
okay,
Hmm.
but there's beautiful foliage where you
Right.
look.
My Monstera looks awesome in the corner.
Yeah, it just
Yeah.
sort of distracts because
Hmm.
it's this piece of life.
Mm.
And then even for example, put a basket on top of our piano with a wool blanket in it, and I call it the kitty basket. It's the kitty basket. That's where the cats go. They love it.
On
So
top of your, oh,
every
I have it
time
upright. I'm like, on top of your
on
piano.
top of our
Yeah.
piano,
You
so
guys have a
every
baby
time
band.
I walk by,
Hmm.
there's kitties in the kitty basket, and like people can't help themselves because it's kind of at eye level, and so you just want to get in there and play with the kitties.
Hmm.
We have betta fish that live on our little dresser that holds our games and some of our art supplies. So it's like, and we have a fireplace in our one living room, which is great because these are pieces of life.
Hmm.
Fish, cats, plants, fire. Um, they're sort of things that add this element of life. So the
Hmm.
room is never stale, even if it is. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does. Because if you think about it, well, it's movement. The fish are
It's
moving.
movement.
The
That's
fire
right.
is moving. The kitties are moving. It's not just
Yep.
this. Yeah. Yeah, it does make sense.
Yep. It's like what people like watching the rain or like people like watching fire. There's
Hmm.
just this sort of therapeutic movement to it. And again, if my goal was to just have the living room be in perfect shape all the time, I'm screwed,
Yeah. Cool.
you guys. But it's like I was saying last week. If I look at the room and I think this will take me 5 minutes to clean up,
Hmm.
when everyone, come on, everyone, get in, put your shoes away, put the blankets back up on the couches, get the pillows
Hmm.
off the floor, straighten the coffee table, take all the glasses to the kitchen. That's just a sweep through. That takes no time.
Right.
So that's not the stuff that's worth getting all upset about.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yep. Then you get
So
to
I,
go in, same thing, and like make it sing. You get to, when it's all
yeah,
picked up, oh, I could actually vacuum because there's nothing in my
that's right.
way. Or I
That's
could put
right.
flowers on the coffee table or,
And again, going back to priorities, that life to me, that movement is so much more valuable. So we only have
mm,
a teeny, teeny little hallway. I use that word very loosely. It's like a 3 by 3 square
I was gonna
between
say
our
it's like
kids'
4 feet.
bedrooms.
Yeah. Yeah.
Exactly.
Hmm.
And you know what's in between their bedrooms? A laundry basket full of shrapnel that I don't want to be bothered with putting away. I don't have to walk past it. It's a dark corner. I don't really have to see it.
Hmm.
Every once in a while, I'll be like, "Hey, clean up the shrapnel. Give me my laundry basket back." But it's not my priority. I'll quickly gather things up and
Hmm.
just throw it into the basket. And if they're looking for something, go look in the basket. So again, it's like that um, prioritizing, I suppose, would be the best word for it.
Yeah. I have
I don't
one,
care about making the hallway sing.
I have one at the top of the stairs. Well, I have stairs. So
Yeah.
I'm notorious. And, I feel like my life is like a reel. Like you see the reels about moms putting things on the stairs and the families just walking past them. I mean, like, it's just so true.
Yeah.
I don't get it. But I do end up taking things from around the house if it's starting to get on my nerves or, they're in another room and I just want to tidy up. I'll put things on the stairs. And then at the end of the day, I'm like, okay, if you haven't taken
Yep.
them, they're going in the basket. So I have a big wicker basket that like fits into a corner. It's like kind of
Yep.
rounded on one side and has a lid. So I don't have to look at it.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
at some point I'm like, okay, it's garbage day. So the basket's getting emptied. If you need anything
Oh
in the
yeah.
basket,
Yeah. I
don't come to
threaten.
me on Sunday morning and say, I don't have any socks for church.
Yep.
No.
Yep. I threaten. I'm like, look, if it's still in there at this particular time, it's getting thrown away.
Yeah.
That's all there is to it. All right, let's take another quick break and say thank you to the rest of our season sponsors. First up, Tubes and Co. We haven't got to the bathroom yet, but if you are in the mood to replenish your skincare and to replenish your makeup, then look no further than toupsandco.com, TOUPS and co.com, and use the code HMC10 for 10% off. This is where you can get skincare products that nourish and restore your skin and use ingredients like cold pressed olive oil and organic grass fed tallow. They're all formulated with real ingredients without any synthetic chemicals. No gross toxins, no fillers, no artificial colors, no artificial fragrances. I say this, oh, you got it. Angela's showing us her. Can you remind me what this is called?
Oh, no.
It's a
Gouache,
funky word.
gua sha? Gua sha
No.
stone? Yes, no, I swear it's like that. Keep talking. I'm gonna figure it out.
Anyway, they also have this from Tusico.
Yeah.
Did I mention that you can get 10% off with the code HMC10? I think I did. So again, we make your skincare sing, make your makeup skin. I just went through and cleaned out my makeup bag. Oh, why do I wait so long to do that? So now every morning when I've put my makeup on, I was like, I feel fantastic. Why? Well, because there's not clutter, there's not dirty
Yeah.
Kleenex, there's not like half bent
Broken
bobby
blush.
pins.
Right. Yes, exactly. Spent
Exactly.
Q-tips. It is called a gua sha stone.
Okay.
And
Well, there
Tubes
you go.
has the very best. You have to get it.
Okay.
Circulation, reducing puffiness, and lymphatic drainage.
Okay. There you go.
Yep.
You can visit tubesandco.com and use code HMC10 for 10% off your purchase.
Okay. And I don't know if you saw this on YouTube on Friday, but I did finish my bed. I bought
I did see this.
an Amazon bed and turned it into a French antique. And so now my American Blossom linens are on a decent piece of furniture. So you should also visit AmericanBlossomLinens.com. Janet and her lovely company are bringing you beautiful linens for your linen closet. Blankets, pillows, sheets, duvets. You need to check it out. And when you're there, use the code SING20 for 20% off. The cotton is grown here in America. The factories where these products are manufactured are here in America. The sheets are made a very specific way. They are woven in a way that where all the rougher fibers are removed. So what you have are linens that get softer with each washing. They're a very vintage style linen. You're going to love them.
Mhm.
The king mattress is like the fitted sheets extra deep, and you're going to get extra pillowcases with your queen and king. So visit AmericanBlossomLinens.com, and she's made this beautiful coupon code for all of our listeners, SING20 for 20% off at American Blossom Linens.
There you go. All right.
Okay.
Should we do
Okay.
the bathroom? Should we do the
Yeah.
least sexy room in the house, sort of? I
I
love my bathroom.
well, yeah, I don't love mine. I mean, they're nice. I'm going to love mine when it's done, which I did start hanging the
Yeah.
wallpaper. But we got a new water softener. So for all my Midwest peeps who have rocky, iron-filled, horrible water, I just would like you to know my toilets are now clean. They stay clean. I'm so happy as a homemaker. I'm so happy. My bathtub is staying clean. My white laundry is staying white, and my toilets are staying clean. So I'm starting this section singing. I'm already singing.
All right.
I'm thrilled.
Just because there's not
Just
rust
because,
rings.
right? Right?
Yeah. Yep.
But in the bathroom, we've got toilets, tubs, showers, mopping the bathroom floor, keeping the countertops clean. When you've got kids, you've got like toothpaste goopers and
Yep.
stuff that gets left out. This complete and utter inability for everyone in the house except the wife, the mother, the female, to put the fresh toilet paper on the toilet paper dispenser. I
I don't know.
I don't know what it is.
I
Once
think
I
it's
took this
important
Once I took
that
this
we
picture, I think I put it on Instagram. And it was like I had the cardboard ring was still on there, and somebody had taken the fresh toilet paper and just like jabbed it over the side.
my gosh.
I was like, well, at least they're trying.
I don't know. The bathroom to me is the one room where it's like I want to train my people. And I do. I correct them. But there's a lot of like, hey, whole family, we hang towels up after we use them. We flush the toilet after we use it. We make sure that things that need to be hidden in the trash are hidden in the trash. Okay?
Ooh, those things, ladies.
Those kinds of things. We take care of these things because we're decent humans. However, this is one of those rooms where I do have a higher standard
Hmm.
than the rest of the people that I live with. I
Yeah.
just do. And it's also one of those rooms that I don't freak out about anymore because,
Mm.
again, I can go in, you set a timer for 60 seconds,
Oh, you.
flush the toilet, wipe off the
Yeah.
counter, get
Yeah.
the
Grab the
toothpaste
soggy
out,
rags. Yeah.
grab the
Yeah.
soggy rags, hang up the towel. So it's like, just don't, I don't, that's just like 3 times a day. It's like
Yeah.
3 times a day. So that's not like the singing piece. That's just like, we're keeping it decent. We're keeping it decent.
Hmm.
I think to make it sing for me, let's see. Beautiful towels, I think are one of those things. It's just an added like luxury that just makes it feel really beautiful. And again,
Hmm.
life, I put plants in all my bathrooms
Hmm.
because They're beautiful, they're bright green, they're real. Um, I use really beautiful Tubes and Co soaps. They're French
Yeah.
clay soaps and they're lavender soaps. So again, these like really simple pleasures, I'm always going to have to wipe off the counter. I'm always going to have to flush the toilet. But when, for example, the shower has really beautiful soap in it, or when we hang up the towels and they're in good shape, they're not all ratty and nasty. Like you got to know when to call it. You got to know when to
Yeah.
call it with a
Yeah.
towel.
Oh
Okay?
my goodness. Is this a milk rag now? Is this what I'm covering
Exactly.
my plants with in a unforeseen frost? Or
That's right. That's
yeah.
right.
Yeah.
That's right. Um, I don't know. I mean, I know that's not like breaking news, but it sort of consistently stays the same. I don't make it sing necessarily by cleaning it, right? Because that's just one of those
Yeah. I
things.
I my bathrooms, I make my girls clean my bathroom.
Okay.
Okay. I need the bathroom cleaned.
Yeah.
But I do what you do like 3 times a day. Just go in and whoosh, whoosh, whoosh,
Yep.
I am known to leave an obnoxious note on the wall.
Ah,
Oh,
very good.
and I do use, you said something about decent earlier. I do have one in this house that says, please be a decent person and da 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 da
Mm-hmm.
da da.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Yep.
because I do have this, I like to go in and just like lickety split make something really nice and make it sing. And like it's great. I'm not bitter about it. I'll just do it.
Yeah.
But I also want to be really mindful that I'm not putting people out into the world that are expecting that to be done. Like
Yeah.
bathrooms don't magically look decent.
Right. I think there is this stage. I'm sure it changes as your kids get older. Like your kids are
Mhm.
slightly older than mine, some of them. But part of me, what I'm trying to do right now is just help them to develop a taste
A taste
for
for decency.
decency.
Yes.
They
Yes,
don't
because
have that ability.
they don't, not
They're
always.
11-year-old boys.
When it's
Okay.
there, they
Like
appreciate it.
that's
But
right.
the craving or the, yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh, I love that.
You have to give them a taste for it. Like, don't
Hmm.
we like it when we get out of the shower and the towel's dry because we hung it up? Don't we like it when the bathroom smells? I have these reed diffusers that I use all over my house. I love them. I have linen sprays that I use all over my house. Like,
Hmm.
I think smell is so powerful. So to me, that makes it sing. It's an added extra exclamation point. The bathroom's
Hmm.
clean and boom, it smells like the sun of Florence or whatever.
Yeah.
And I love that. But yeah, giving them a taste of that decency, I think
Hmm.
is mhm.
Okay.
I want them to want it. I want them
Yeah.
to want it.
I hope that's
Don't
not
we all?
futile.
I know.
I
I
know
know.
everybody's going to be their own person, but be decent.
It all goes full circle. It goes back to what we started with. Like, this isn't going to go according to plan.
No, Shay, you're absolutely right. I mean, it's not.
It's not.
And it's just like anything, where it's just kind of this stupid idea as a mother that like you think you can figure all these things out for them, and then they won't have to go through the painful process of figuring it out for themselves. They're actually going to have to probably get their own apartment or have a dorm room or, suffer some consequence of, hey,
Yep.
guess what? I just got out of the shower and the towels are still in the washing machine.
That's right.
I mean,
That's
it's
right.
just is how
Or
it.
I had one that did her laundry last week and washed a red pen and
Oh,
dried a red pen
yeah,
with her load of laundry. And she said,
great.
"Well, I checked." I'm like, "Well, you didn't check good
You
enough."
didn't. Exactly.
Nobody else's fault here, kiddo.
Right.
But you're totally right. They're gonna make those things. But look, homemakers, sit down. Just make a cup of tea, have a cup of coffee, pour a
Mm.
glass of wine, sit down and just write down 10 things. You have all these tasks that you have to complete as a homemaker. You have so much on your plate, so many hard things, so many beautiful things. What are 10 little things that you could do that would make your spirit personally
Mm.
sing in your space? You
Yes, I
know,
love that.
maybe even though we do it all the time, maybe somebody hasn't gotten in the habit of music yet.
Hmm.
So, okay, make your home sing by blasting good music all the time, or when it's appropriate, or when you need a mood change.
Hmm.
Do that. Maybe you don't use linen sprays, or candles to affect this aroma of your home. Maybe you
Right.
want to do that. Maybe you just want to start cooking some food from scratch because you know that will make you feel just pleasure in what you're doing. So
Yeah.
those are going to look so different for each of us, but the idea is let's take what's good, let's take what's true, let's take what's beautiful, and let's apply it in our
Hmm.
homes in ways that make us joyful,
Yeah,
that make it a
absolutely.
joyful place to be, right?
Love it. Okay.
All right, we never
So
make it through everything we
we
want
never
to, but
do, but thanks for
oh
joining
well.
us. It was
Yeah.
another great episode. I did like this idea, and it didn't really turn out to be kind of how I introduced it at the beginning, but that's okay. It never does.
It
Uh,
never does.
Tune in next week because we have everybody's favorite therapist, Darla, joining us. We're
Yes.
going to talk about communicating with our children. Ooh,
Ooh.
awkward. So we will be back next week. Spend the rest of the week listening to some old episodes. We love you, and we'll see you all again very soon.
All right.
Cheers.
Cheers.